Good morning, beautiful people. Firstly, I want to say hello to my new subscribers. I just checked in on my YouTube studio thing, app, whatever. And I've gone from 266 up to 271, so thank you very much for joining my channel. If you're not quite sure what I'm about, my name's Carolyn, and I am an abuse survivor. Spent most of my life being abused in various forms, so putting all my knowledge into videos and sending it out into the world, hopefully helping other people to recognise abuse from the people around them, and how to help themselves get out of it, basically, because at the end of the day you do have a choice, if you want to stay or if you want to go. Nobody can take that choice away from you. So yeah, thank you very much for joining my channel. This is my cat here, Safi. She likes to get in the way as soon as I start a video. So sometimes the video will stop because she's sat on a keyboard. But yeah, she's gone to the side now, so that's okay. But yeah, thank you very much for joining my channel. Today I wanted to talk about just how far I've come with my mental health. I made a decision today not to go into college. I'm doing 3 college courses at the moment, for anybody that doesn't know. And I'm finding it a bit difficult. Obviously, I've not been back to school since I was at school when I was 16. I mean, I've been to college once before, but that was for welding and fabrication. So now I'm doing English, Maths and Science, because I want to progress onto psychology, because I think I've got a lot to put into that sort of genre with my own knowledge, with what I've been through and how I've managed to cope and how I've managed to sort my mental health out, basically. Yeah, and I think I've got a lot to give back. This is why I've started this channel, really, just to, you know, start the ball rolling. I've been helping friends and family and people that I know to move forward as well. I've been helping complete strangers to move forward as well, which is absolutely amazing. I can't explain the feeling it gives me, just a warm, humbling feeling that I'm helping others that have gone through the same sort of thing that I have and struggling to recognise narcissistic behaviour or toxic behaviour and abuse patterns. But yeah, finding the strength to do the things that you do for yourself is a hard thing, and it's something that I've struggled with for many, many years. Understanding that I'm in control of my own life, I'm in control of every single decision in my life. I used to think I never had any decisions. And even when my head was up my arse, I couldn't make the decisions because my head was just in a state of confusion. I couldn't make any decisions. I didn't know up from down, left from right, black from white. You know, it was just a brain full of a life of trauma, just repeating constantly. So I get triggered constantly. And I've actually noticed over the last few weeks that how much I'm moving forward. Just silly little normal things that people would think is normal, but is such a groundbreaking thing for me. For instance, yeah, I've been thinking that I've taken on a bit too much doing these 3 courses because I'm having to do so much learning. It's like maths, it's not just adding and take away. You know, we're doing every single thing that you can in maths, all the equations. My maths teacher, he's he teaches on the higher degree level. He's a university teacher, really, you know. So he's trying to teach us 2 different ways of doing the same sum. and I'm also doing science, and I'm doing maths in science as well, and I'm getting taught another way to do the same maths. And I'm also doing English on top. And in the science, I'm doing every single subject. I'm doing biology, chemistry, and physics eventually. So yeah, it's like 6 years worth of schooling crammed into 1 year, and yeah, it's become a bit overwhelming. Trying to keep up with the work, trying to figure out which maths I should be using for which one. Yeah, so it's just been a bit too much for me. I wasn't quite sure on where I was on my level of education. I knew it was bad when I was at school, but I've done a lot just by myself. I'm quite an intelligent person, so I've done a lot of learning by myself, especially with the sciences and that. And I'm pretty good when it comes to beep beep. Yeah, I am pretty good when it comes to talking. The knowledge that I have, I've got many interests. Do space research online and things like that, and I've delved into my own mental illnesses over the years and that. So yeah, I do have a lot of knowledge, but I just didn't know how easy I'd be able to soak in what I need to learn. So yeah, now normally if I was going through something like this, my brain would go to mush. I'd be in a state of confusion. Do I do this? Do I not? Do I do this? Do I not? Have I made the right decision? Do I stop all the courses? And I'd get myself into such a state, I wouldn't even go out of my house. So I would have normally stopped all 3 courses and not gone. Failed the lot. But now I've actually decided, okay, I might not be able to do all 3 all at once. So I'll back out of 2 courses and just do 1. And I'll do the one that I'm actually enjoying and I'm doing well in at the moment, which is science. The other 2, they can come on later on, whenever, I do have a chance to go back in September next year and start again, do a different course, which I think is what I should do, because I know I can't do the English and maths together because the maths is so involved, so I'm going to have to take a full year just doing that by itself. The same as the science. I mean, the English is quite easy, really, just writing stories and yeah, it's quite basic. But even that, because it is basic, I'm even falling behind in that, and it was starting to get on top of me, I could feel the old Kaz creeping in, not as bad, definitely not as bad, not with the panic attacks and things like that, and anxiety. Because my head's in a stable place now. I can make these decisions. And know that I've made the right decision, and not panic and think that, oh my God, I'm making these decisions for myself. I don't have to think about anybody else's disappointments or, things like that, because that's what I used to put my head into. It'd be, oh, what are they going to think? Or, what am I going to look like? Or, thinking that I've done myself, feeling disappointed in myself, and thinking that everybody else is going to feel disappointed in me as well, because I've made such a fuss about going back to college and being able to do this, that and the other. It's a snowball effect. But when you're trapped in a constant traumatic environment, and your head's in that traumatic state that it can't function right, it is difficult to make decisions. And the only way that I've managed to get away from that is not have those people around me. Because being an empath, being a kind person, if I was in a relationship, my partner could come first, So if they'd asked me, or even, if they'd sort of like said, oh, spending too much time studying, Kaz, I wouldn't have gone to college at all, you know. I would have stopped going and, you know, just to please them because they was upset with me, you know. I mean, it happened with my tattoo studio, you know. I'd opened a tattoo studio, but I got involved with a bloke at the same time as I opened the shop. And slowly and surely, he controlled me to give it up, basically. Coerced me, manipulated my head, twisted it into a state where I couldn't function anymore, so I lost the shop. I mean, there was a few other factors as well, like my back going as well, but, you know. But yeah, he complained that I was spending too much time at the shop, working, earning money, which was going into his pocket too, you know. It's not like I was keeping all the money for myself, it was going back into his family, as well as him, as well as me and my daughter. You know, that's the sort of person I am, you know, I'll share. So I started doing less hours. And then obviously, because I'm the artist as well, I was doing piecework, you know, I was doing flash papers and things like that, drawing, so a lot of my time was spent focusing on other things, unfortunately. But yeah, new business, it's bound to, you know, first year off the ground, I need to concentrate and get my customer backing up, but also my own reputation out there for being an artist. But he started complaining that I was spending too much time drawing, neglecting him, and he twisted it into, well, you don't really love me if you're neglecting me like this. He wanted me to stay right next to him, sat in a chair all day at home, and that was it. That's the sort of relationship he wanted. And in the end, that's the sort of relationship that he got. With the amount of damage that he'd done to my head at the time. It was all mental manipulation. Yeah, and it does have a knock-on effect. You really can't make decisions because you don't think you're capable of. You're not, because your head's so far up your arse, you can't. It is a perpetual trap in a prison of your own making, but it's not your own making, it's somebody else's making, but, you know, it's in your own head. Constant spiralling thoughts. And today it's just been absolutely amazing because I woke up this morning, I had a plan in my head, right, this is what I'm going to do. I know that if I carry on as I am, I'm just going to get more and more triggered, more and more frustrated with myself, anxious, take it out on myself. So we go down that road and you know what's going to happen, Kaz. You'll end up not doing any of it at all and backing out the all 3 courses. You'll feel bad for yourself. You'll feel bad for yourself. And, you know, snowball effect. And that's not where I want to be. You know, over this last year, I've changed so much. So I woke up this morning and I thought, right, okay, I'll contact my teacher, my English teacher, and tell her what's going on, which I have done. That might be actually a message back from her. Excuse me. I'm going to go into college tomorrow, do my day of science, and then Thursday I shall message my maths teacher and let him know what's going on as well. Now normally I wouldn't have even done that, I would just stay quiet and just carried on with my science and not even spoken to my maths and English teacher and just gone quiet, ghosted him. You know, but that's the old Kaz. The new Kaz is doing things differently. He's doing things the right way, doing things, you know, I was getting all anxious about it, but, you know, it was like, what are you getting anxious for? You know, just do it. So I have. And I feel so much better for it. You know, I've got a plan. I've stuck to that plan. And I'm still moving forward. And that's all it's about, is moving forward. Even if it's just, you have to back out certain things. And if things become overwhelming, you've got to figure out, okay, so why is it overwhelming? Yeah. And then figure out what you're going to do from that. Okay, how can I make it easier for me? Instead of going from one extreme to the other, because it really is that sort of state of mind that you're in when your head's up your arse. It's all or nothing. There doesn't seem to be any sort of in between. So it's nice to actually be able to go, okay, right, well, these are the options that I've got, I don't have to feel bad for choosing what's best for me. Whereupon I used to feel bad for choosing what was best for me. I was never allowed to have what was best for me, really, so it wasn't really an option. But yeah, once I started choosing what was best for me, I was quite happy with the decisions that I was making, because they've all seemed to have been the right ones. My life's gone from suicide attempts, countless, forgot how many, there's been that many. I've been very lucky not to have passed on, really. And I've done a complete 180 flip, and having a great life. From having nothing to having everything. Or thinking I had nothing. Because I did. I didn't think I was worth anything. To having everything that I've ever wanted. Just by looking after myself, taking care of myself, making my own decisions for myself, doing what was right for me, doing what made me happy. And, it's made me fucking happy. It's nearly a year now. 5th of December, well, not 5th of December, 3rd of December, when my dad died. That's when this spirituality thing really kicked off. I gave myself to the universe. And then I gave myself to the universe fully in May. June of this year. So just in that short time, over nearly 48 years, I'm making myself 10 years younger, I wish. The amount of time that I've lost, actually, it's quite sad to look back on, 30 years. 32 years since I left home, or I was kicked out, and I should have been making those decisions for myself then, which I was for a little while. When I lived with my mum, she didn't give a toss what I got up to, and it was my first taste of freedom, and that's my early rave days. That's why I like rave music so much, because that was the first time I experienced true freedom, because I was in such a controlling family beforehand, so strict, constrictive, aggressive, and then to go to a mother that didn't really care. She was more like a friend. She's never been a mother. She hasn't got that motherly instinct. She hasn't got that human characteristic. She's a big narcissist, same as a few of my other family members. So yeah, you can imagine, if you've been through it yourself, you can imagine what sort of experiences that I've had over my lifetime. So yeah, it's nice to actually recognise just how different my brain works now, after not understanding a thing for so many years, and thinking that it was all because of me, that I was the problem. And it wasn't, it was the people around me that was causing this mental instability, was causing the way I acted, the way I responded to situations in all aspects of my life. So it doesn't just affect one thing, it doesn't just affect your brain, it affects how you function as a human being. And it can be difficult to change that. But once you start, and once you start realising what's happening to you and how much you're changing, I've never smiled so much in my life. It's absolutely amazing, you know. I can't stop laughing, just giggling to myself all day, just how different my brain works. Just how different my life is with the opportunities that's coming in. And this steady movement forward for this past year. It just has been steady. I've not had any knockbacks, which is the first time in my life I've not had knockbacks. I've not been booted back into that terrified child that you get with, you know, PTSD and things like that. You know, well, actually there was one occasion, maybe one or two, but it's usually really traumatic things, like that was at Creamfields the last night there, but it wasn't too bad. I've had a worse one there, but yeah, it wasn't too bad. I was surrounded by people I knew, so I felt safe. Whereupon the last time it happened, I was by myself, and yeah, I didn't know anyone there, so I shit myself. Literally turned into a terrified toddler. Had a big mental breakdown in the middle of the field, but nobody knew really. Yeah, but it was just being terrified. But I don't get triggered by those things anymore, you know. I get triggered by violence. If I hear people fighting, if I see people fighting, physical violence, verbal violence, you know, it all triggers me back to being where I was as a child. You know, this is what post-traumatic stress disorder is, because it was over such a long time. I think they call it complex post-traumatic stress disorder. It's not just one individual event that's caused the trauma. It's actually a lifetime of events that causes the traumatic response in myself to be triggered back into terrified child, basically. And it's been a long time since she's taken over, and it's such an amazing thing because it was constant, you know, and there was nothing I could do about it. But now she's gone to sleep. She's gone back to where she should be, processed as a memory in the back of my head, and not stuck in the front, controlling my actions and every thought, you know. So yeah, I just wanted to share that with you all. Just want you to know that there is a way out, you know. You can heal to a certain extent. I don't know if you can heal all the way, but you know, I still have certain things that I need to sort out, you know, procrastination and things like that. And I know I've still got a couple of deep things that I need to bring to the surface, but they all come at the right time. You know, it's like my ice cream incident, you know. Well, I've done a video of it, dropped an ice cream the other week. I was looking forward to this ice cream in the park. And I went to give it a lick and it snapped off and fell off on the floor. So yeah, I had a bit of a... And it really did trigger a memory back when I was a child. Of when a seagull took my ice cream away. And I couldn't have another one. But this time I treated myself to another one. I went back to the ice cream van. Luckily the woman, she actually gave it me for free. You know, I was willing to pay for it again. I had the money there. because I wanted an ice cream. I wanted that one that I had. Yeah, and that actually brought on healing. I come home and made a video about it, and through the video I actually realised what all that feeling, because I really nearly did cry in the park. My ice cream has got, I could feel myself welling up and everything. And whereupon that little traumatic memory of me when I was a child, that the seagull had taken my ice cream and I wasn't allowed to have another one, you know. It's a feeling of loss. Feeling, you know, looking forward to having something so good, you know, a kid with an ice cream, you know. It's like Christmas. Well, especially in my family. I didn't get treats very often, so when they came, it was a big thing. So having that taken away and not being able to have another one, it felt like my own fault for starters, you know. Which I can hear my grand saying, well, you shouldn't have let the seagull take it away. You should have held on to it. You know, those sorts of things. You know, blame me for a seagull swooping down and taking my ice cream. Yeah, I can imagine all of that. And it's very strange to actually have a different functioning brain now. Working through those triggers, through those emotions, letting them come to the surface, feeling what they are, and realising where they came from, and realising how wrong it was, and being able to correct it. And that's the lessons that we need to learn. We need to realise what's going on, make the decision of what we're going to do with the emotions. Are we going to let them come out, or are we going to push them deep down again until next time? And it's like me, did with my decisions with college, do I push my emotions deep down and just carry on, you know, with the full 3 courses and end up completely messing them all up, not passing any of them? Or do I deal with what's going on? Do I see things for what they are, recognise where I stand in all of it, and take charge of my future by making the right decisions, you know? Do I feel all these emotions? Do I see where they go, see where they lead me? And do I grieve, you know, when they do surface? And yeah, that's what I've been doing. I've been looking at every single emotion that I have, letting them rise, seeing where they come from, letting myself grieve, comforting that part of me that went through that trauma at that time, you know? It's like with the ice cream, gone by Kaz another one, you know? How would you have fixed that if that was your child, you know? You just had an ice cream swiped out the hand by a seagull, you go get them another one. Or if they didn't have the money to get another one, me, for instance, I would have given my child mine. But yeah, I've had years of ice cream. Yeah, kid. Yeah, you have that one. I'll have the next one next time. You know, and the kid wouldn't think that they're missing out, or feel like they're missing out, or they've done something wrong for something that was out of their control. And just those little feelings in a child, they don't understand what it is, and it's damaging, because they carry that on for the rest of their life. You know, how long have I carried that on? 47 years, nearly 48. Well, maybe not that long, because I was about 6, so what, 42 years then. Yeah, 41, 42 years. It's a long time to carry that traumatic memory and have all those responses that it came with for such a long time. So yeah, I think I'll end that there now. yeah, I'm just thinking if there's anything else that I wanted to say, which I haven't. Excuse the coughing. I am a smoker, so I do have a smoker's cough, unfortunately. But yeah, I would just like to say thank you everybody for all your support through this. The comments that you leave, Jane, you're amazing, you're absolutely lovely. You've got such sound advice, and yeah, I shall give my daughter a big hug from you next time I see her. And yeah, I understand that you was tired yesterday, so don't worry about your comments or anything like that. I do understand. I can see the bigger picture, so yeah, don't worry about that. Don't have to fret at all. No harm done. So yeah, I'd just like to say thank you everybody for all your likes, all your subscriptions, all your comments and all your support. You're all amazing people. And thank you for helping me grow, this channel grow. Quite shocked actually, just how much it is growing. And I know I've not done a lot of videos for a while. I backed off for a bit, but as you can see, I come in spurts. Oh, I shouldn't have said that really. Oh dear. Right, okay, yeah, time to end this video. My head's just gone elsewhere. So right, I shall say goodbye everyone. Thank you very much.